Hey everyone, welcome to the daily analysis for Australian dollar, Japanese yen for April 22nd, 2009. Time is currently 8:17 GMT. Uh, the Australian yen cross is very similar to the pound yen right now. So I'm just going to run through things quickly and point out the key levels that I see that you should be looking out for. Uh, just like the pound yen, we're being supported by a lower trend line. Um, It's not as clear cut as the pound yen, but it's still there. We have several touches, and it has slowly been riding up on this. Um, we have the same CCI daily trend line to the bottom, same kind of curving aspect. Things that are different is the pound yen is trading in a channel, whereas the Australian yen is not really trading in a channel. It started almost kind of trading in a channel, but it broke to or kind of like a rising wedge almost. Hard to say. But then it broke to the top, and then it continued going up, and it looks as if right here it kind of overexerted itself when it went up to 73.44, and we could be headed on the way down right now to kind of uh, recover some of this overextension. Because this last move from here, from the 65 area up to the 72.50, um, that was uncharacteristic of what it had been doing for the previous month and a half. Um, so looking back, just a couple weeks ago, we have that same kind of range, although it's not as like clear cut, but it still has that solid bottom. Um, so I'm going to take a trend line between the two lows here, and you can see that after we broke it, when the Sunday market opened, we did retrace up to it and we bounced off of it, very similar to the pound yen. So the Australian yen is actually trading in kind of a tight rising wedge, which is characteristic of a bearish breakout, although it could be a bullish breakout, typically bearish though. Um, so again, the bear signals are kind of adding up for another yen cross. Um, I would be selling near the 70.50, 70.74 area and zooming in on the 4-hour chart, um, selling on a break of the low that was created yesterday, which happens to be exactly at 68.00. So I would actually put my order at 67.95, give a little bit of a buffer to make sure that your trade gets activated. On the 4-hour chart, we do have a candle of indecision that just closed um, about 20 minutes ago. It Whether or not it's going to reverse and head right back up to 70.50, that's kind of a long shot. It would first have to break the 69.52, the high of this candle of indecision right here. Otherwise, keep your eyes towards the lower trend line. Sell high, um, and on a break of, like I said, 68, I would sell. Targeting probably first this low right here near the 65 level. Keep in mind you want your take profit to be hit, so I would probably take profit probably 65.50 area, maybe even a little bit higher. I don't typically trade the Australian yen, so its bounces off of previous support and resistance might not be so clear cut. So a very safe take profit to me would be 66. That should have no problem getting hit, and could also be a retest of this 65 low. It would also be a very good 200 pip trade. So keep an eye on that. Looking on the 1-hour chart, we do have a potential long trade setting up. It's not confirmed on the CCI. Remember, we do need a close, and it's also not the best trend line. We don't have a lot of space off of bouncing away from the trend line. So again, I would look for longs above 69.55 area, this high right here, and sells below 68.00. We are trading in what could be the start of a day or two range, maybe a little bit longer. depending on what the market has in store. In between this area right here, bouncing back and forth. The breakout, because it started bearish initially, I'm expecting it to continue bearish. Um, and that's about it for the Australian yen. I hope that helps you guys out. I'm not really looking for long trades here. It'd kind of be hard to justify any long until we got back up into the 72, which would be above where we opened for this week. The reason I say that is just quickly because this is a rising trend line, and these are a lot harder to predict breakouts. When the breakouts do happen, they happen strong and they happen quickly, such as this is a rising trend line right here, and we did break out of it. But you can see right here, the candle that broke out of it, it just shot up, and it's a little bit harder to determine on a rising trend line where exactly the point of breakout is going to be. Just because not only will you have a new high when you retest the trend line, you'll be testing the trend line again, but have a new high as well, and it's kind of two contradicting pieces of information, and it makes it a little bit harder. Which is why the 68 level is a little bit easier, because not only when we break this will we have a new low, but it will also be outside of um, this lower trend line. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So I'm not looking to go long on the Australian yen unless we can get above 72.00. Unless you're really trading short term and you really want to play the bounces, and if you see some opportunities with the way you trade in between this range, feel free to buy low. I'm currently have a selling mentality, and I'm going to be selling high or on a break of this low here. Hope that helps, and have a great trading day.